Good morning, everyone. I would like to tell you the story of Cerridwen, because I'm aware that not everyone is a priestess of Cerridwen like I am, and not everyone necessarily knows Cerridwen's story. So in brief, I'm going to tell you that story now. Cerridwen is a goddess, and she lives in North Wales, or that's her home territory, as it were, in Lake Bala, also known as Llyn Tegid. And Tegid Foyle was her husband, is her husband, I should say. He lives with her, and together they have 2 children. Her daughter is called Criaway, and I hope I pronounced that properly. Criaway is very beautiful. She's just beautiful to look at, a lovely girl, beautiful voice, beautiful personality. She is absolutely gorgeous. Her son, Morfan, not so good looking. No, not good looking at all, in fact. He is very ugly. He is born hideously ugly. And obviously Tegid and Cerridwen are pretty upset by this. And people tend to be a bit horrible to Morfan. And they tend to be rude. And the other kids don't want to play with him. He gets sort of left out of things. Because his mother's Cerridwen, I can't imagine anyone would be stupid enough to bully him. But she sees that her son is unhappy. And she sees this every day. Not just once, not just twice, but every day. He's left out, he's left alone, people don't want to play with him, people don't want to be with him, and it hurts her. And it hurts her every single day. Until one day she has had enough, and she thinks, right, I'm going to do something about this. She doesn't ask her son, which actually she should have done, if he wants her to do this. She decides she's going to do it, and that's it. So she decides to brew this potion. And she takes her great cauldron, which is a beautiful cauldron with all pearls around the rim. And she makes this potion. It has to be cooked, as it were, for a year and a day. And she has this blind old man to help put the wood under and keep the fire burning under the cauldron. I think his name is Morda. And she has this young boy called Guyon Bach, which is little Guyon, and he is stirring the cauldron for a year and a day. Stirring and stirring and stirring. And Cerridwen goes out in all weathers, frost, snow, wind, rain, collecting all the right herbs under all the right phases of the moon and everything, and putting all the ingredients into the cauldron. And this is a long, exhausting task. So by the end, as the potion is nearly ready, she's pretty tired, and she actually falls asleep for a bit. And Guyon Bach is stirring and stirring the potion. And perhaps he stirs a little too vigorously. Perhaps it just happens. But 3 sacred drops, the actual magic of the cauldron, come out and hit Guyon Bach on his thumb. And it's hot, he's burnt. So he does what everyone would do in that situation and puts his thumb in his mouth. So, to cool his thumb. Of course, when he does that, he gets the 3 sacred drops that were meant for her son. The rest of the brew in the cauldron is completely toxic. The cauldron cracks and the poison flows away, goes and poisons some horses, which is a bit horrible. But Guyon gets the Arwen, the inspiration that was meant for her son. to make her son the wisest person in the kingdom, so people would admire and respect him and wouldn't leave him out of everything like they do now. And immediately Guion-Bark, because he's just got the wisdom of the Arwen, realizes what's happened, and he realizes Cerridwen's not exactly going to be thrilled. Got that right. So he turns himself into a hare and runs away. Cerridwen awakes the moment the cauldron cracks, realizes immediately what's happened, and no, she's not thrilled. She's going to kill the little. So she turns herself into a greyhound and runs after him. And just as she's getting close, and her jaws are about to close, they come to the river, and Guion turns himself into a salmon, dives into the river. Cerridwen's not far behind. Turns herself into an otter bitch, dives into the river behind him, and she's after him again. And just as she's about to close in on him again, he turns himself into a bird, possibly a wren, and flies up into the air. But Cerridwen turns herself into a hawk, and she's screaming up behind him, talons outstretched, just ready to... But he turns himself again. This time, he turns himself into a little grain of corn, and he ends up on the floor of a barn where there's loads and loads of corn. And he thinks, if I hide amongst all these other grains of corn, she won't see me. Little does he know. She turns herself into this black hen, and she pecks up every single grain of corn. And she thinks, right, now I've got him. But by the magic of the Arwen that was in Guion-Bark, when she swallows him, he doesn't die. Instead, she becomes pregnant with him. He goes into her womb. And 9 months later, or 10 months if you know, she gives birth to Guion-Bark. And she's still determined when she's carrying him that as soon as he's born, she's going to kill him because he stole the Arwen off her son. And she's unforgivable. That is no coming back from that. But when she actually holds the baby in her arms, well, she's a mother, you know. Her heart softens. And she also sees that he has the radiant brow of the Arwen. And she renames him Taliesin, which means radiant brow, because you can see the Arwen shining from him. And she sees immediately that he is not meant to be hers. He is a gift to the world. She doesn't give him away because she's a cold, heartless cow. No. He is a gift to the world. The knowledge, the wisdom, the poetry he has, that needs to be shared. She can't keep that all to herself. That would be selfish. So she wraps him in this magical crane bag and puts him in to keep him safe. If she wanted to kill him, she could have just chucked him in the lake. But she makes this special magic bag to keep him safe. And she sends him out into the world, where he's found by a Welsh prince, and they bring him up. And he speaks in rhyming couplets, which must be a bit weird. But and after that time, Cerridwen leaves the kind of mortal world, and she goes back to the other world of Annwn, where her proper place is her castle. And she and Tegid and Cryaway and Morfan, they all live together in this beautiful place, this beautiful castle. And that is the story of Cerridwen. Now, there's a lot to be taken in from that story. There's an awful lot there may be more details, but I don't want to make a massive long video because it'd just take too long and it wouldn't upload anyway. But at another time you might get more of the detail and more about the meaning of what that story conveys. But that is the story for now. I hope that is helpful to you. Blessed be.